Hello friends, Kristen here with you again, and I hope you're ready to get crafty because we have a couple of crafts that go along with our story today about healings that Jesus did. Now, these crafts focus on the healing of the deaf man in Mark chapter 7, and we have one that celebrates that specific story with a special puppet of that deaf man, and then we have another craft for you that is going to be a reminder to us that Jesus can open our ears and hearts and minds as well. So we're going to start with our ears craft. Now, there are a lot of fun crafts that have to do with ears and listening, and you can use them for a variety of stories, such as Samuel listening to God's voice, or deaf men that are suddenly able to hear, or just the fact of listening to God. But today we're going to make a set of ears, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you could do this. So the fun part is that the kids get to choose what kind of ears they're going to make. You can talk about animals with really good hearing, and they could pick elephant ears or rabbit ears or whatever kind of ears they want, dog ears, cat ears, whatever, or they could do people ears too. Just kind of more fun to allow them to choose. So you're going to let them pick out what kind of ears they want. Now there's two ways that you could do this. So I'm going to show you could either make these earrings, which we're going to use pipe cleaners, and you can actually place them over your ears. Or if boys don't want to do the earrings thing, that's totally understandable and fine. You can also do a headband. So we're going to start with the ears component first. And you can either use some paper plates, or you can just use regular construction paper, whatever you have on hand, whatever kind of works out best for you. So let's say that I'm going to make some nice long droopy ears, kind of like elephant ears. And for fun, I'm going to do purple ears. Or you could do ears of different colors. This is the creative part here. So we're going to start with making our ears, and maybe I will do two different colors, or I'll just do one for timing purposes. So here's my elephant ears, and again, you can make whatever kind of ears you want. We're just going to do kind of like a jelly bean shape. Just a nice long elephant ear. Fun fact: an Asian elephant's ears are different than an African elephant ears. An African elephant has ears that resemble the shape of the continent of Africa. There you go. So here's my ear. Obviously it looks a little strange. It looks kind of like a kidney bean, but we're going to go with it. And if I do this, actually I'm going to make two sets of ears so I can show you the two ways that you can do this craft. So here's my one set of ears, which really doesn't look that much like an elephant ear, but you know, it's okay. And then my other ears, we're going to do on just a little paper plate. And this time I'll just make them more like, kind of like people ears. So, actually I'm going to cut my plate in half. And that kind of gives me already a sort of ear-ish shape. And if you want to add extra decorations to your ears, of course, you're more than welcome to. So here's my two sets of ears. Now, method number one, I'm just going to color that in for fun. Method number one, my earring ears. Here's my, again, my little elephant ears here. And I'm going to write my captions on these and decorate them right here. And I'm going to say, Lord, open my ears to hear your word. And if you want to do any extra decorations here, you're more than welcome to. Of course, little jewels, stickers, you can write on both sides. Now I'm going to hole punch them and put my little pipe cleaners through, and you can add extra decorations at this point as well. If you wanted to maybe do some beads or something else fun and fancy, you certainly can. And make sure you twist that up good. And that's method number 1. Method number 2 is going to be sort of more an ear headband. So we're going to, you could do this with a pipe cleaner as well, or you could also take a longer piece of paper and we're just going to snippity snip, measure out kind of the space you'll need for your child's head. Do a little staple work. I have a feeling that's not going to be quite big enough at all. Not for my head anyways. And if you do this method, you can add your captions right on to the headband. So here, we can do our captions here. And again, say something like, open my ears to hear your word. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let me use them appropriately. Well, maybe not exactly like that, but you know, something fun. And then we're going to kind of measure it, make sure it fits the kid's head. And then we'll just put our ears on here. So here's my jumbo ears. And again, you can do that different animals, different styles, however you want to do it. And voila, we have 2 ways of having our ears. Now it kind of looks like donkey ears, but there's our ear headband, or dangling earrings. So those are our 2 fun ear crafts. And then we're going to do our puppet next. So this puppet celebrates the story and how Jesus healed this man, because it was kind of an interesting and unique way that he kind of put his fingers in the guy's ears and spit and touched his tongue, and that did the trick. Go figure, see? Never underestimate what Jesus can do or how he can do it. That's right, yes, even for cats. So we're going to use a paper bag. You could also use a paper plate if you like. And we're going to kind of make this something that kids can interact with a little bit as well. So we're going to start off getting the cat out of the way. Hi, bye. We're going to start off kind of decorating this just like you would a normal paper bag puppet. So I've got some googly eyes we can throw on there. The eyes were not the issue. It was the ears and the mouth that weren't working properly. And we're going to, maybe for his mouth, we can make sort of straight line because, well, he couldn't talk. And we're going to give him a nose. If you want to give him some hair, you could give him some hair. See, he looks a little sad because he can't hear or talk. You'd be sad too. No, I sure would. And here's his hair. I'm going to decorate him and give him some clothes. You can give him some clothes. However elaborately you want to go into this operation, of course, depending on your time and in what materials you have. You can really deck him out, or you can just kind of give him the basics, whatever. And now, here comes the fun part. And you can even, well, we'll get there actually. So here comes the fun part. Now we're going to give him a couple of ears. You can do this, again, paper plates, foam, paper, whatever you've got. So these ears we're going to try to make sort of not overly huge, but we're going to cut him some sort of normal human ear shapes. It's kind of hard to tell what even is an ear shaped like. There's so many shapes of ears. It's very fascinating, really. And these are his ears. We're also going to cut a red strip of paper. You'll see what happens there in a moment. And so now comes the engaging and interactive part. So we're going to attach his ears using a handy dandy brad. Now, if you've got really thick paper, you may need to poke a little hole through your paper bag and through your ear prior to taking the brad through, because you'll want to get this just right. It can be a little tricky. So poke our brad, and then maybe cut a little slit in your ear for that brad to fit through. And then I'm going to kind of hide his ears behind him. And then here we go. Do that same thing on the other side. And then for his tongue, we're going to tuck the tongue, say that 5 times fast, underneath the bag so that we can hide it as well, which I'll demonstrate momentarily once I get his other ear on. And so we've got his ears kind of hidden back here. And his tongue, we're going to lift up that paper bag, and we're going to kind of accordion style fold, or you can roll this red piece of paper to represent his tongue. And now you can either glue, or I'm going to tape it just so I don't have to wait for the glue to dry and worry about it sticking everywhere. You can tape his tongue on here. You can also write down the words that Jesus said, which were Ephphatha. It's very possible I pronounced that completely wrong, but I spelled it correctly anyways. And so I'm going to put his tongue under here, tuck his tongue under there, and then you have your interactive puppet to help you tell the story, because he starts out so sad, and he can't hear, and he can't talk. And then when Jesus comes and touches him, it opens his ears, not that they were literally closed, but you know, we can have fun with that. And so we can open his ears by untucking them from that brad spot, and then we can loosen his tongue. Ta-da! Or we can even do the Jesus thing and touch it and pull it out of there. Ta-da! Ta-da! So there you have your interactive puppet friend, deaf man in the story. And you also have 2 ways to have your fun ears to remember that just as Jesus physically healed someone's ears, well, he can spiritually heal our hearing and help us to listen to him and understand his word. So hopefully it gives you some fun ideas to go along with this very engaging and interesting and kind of strange with the tongue ear touching thing story of how Jesus heals. So as always, take it and make it and do your own thing and enjoy. Hopefully this does give you some bounce off ideas. And as always, we have new videos every week, so like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, awesome! We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a very blessed week, and go make some crafts. Make some disciples. We'll see you next time.